Oh, there we go. We are filled on our first trade. It is a nice small green candlestick at the EMA, and we are looking for it to bounce for some quick profits. Okay, so as this trade unfolds, let's move into our review mode so we can take a closer look at what is going on with this trade. Okay, moving into the review mode here, I have the chart up and it allows me to draw over it, and we can kind of get a deeper discussion on what is going on. The candlestick you see here is the candlestick we actually entered in on this trade. So if we look at the beginning of the morning, there was this massive gap down caused by overnight selling. And usually when we see that, we expect it to continue into the rest of the day. So we would expect it to continue selling off. But as you can see, the market was not having any of it. Every time it tried to reverse down, you see these massive green bullish candles, and it basically stopped all of the selling in its track. And then we broke above the EMA, started to make these higher highs and higher lows, and now we've officially formed what is known as a bull trend. So with this bull trend, I am only going to be looking to buy in this scenario. I really want to be staying with the strong trend. You can try and fight it, but I would say you will most likely lose that battle. So let's take a look at this trade. Why do I like this trade all of a sudden? Well, first of all, it's at the EMA, right? This is a trade happening at the EMA. And as you notice, the EMA has been pretty strong with this trend. Every time it's trying to touch the EMA, it actually can't even get back to it because buyers are so excited about this market that they're just willing to come in and buy before it even gets back there, right? They're rushing in because I don't know, maybe it's FOMO, you know, they just really want to get into this market, so they're coming in way too quickly. And we've actually gotten filled on half of our order here. We took half of our profits as we've come back up. Let's move this chart over a bit so we can see. Whoops. You can see a little bit of what's going on. Yep, so here we go. So this is where we took, and our review kind of messed up. Let me fix that real quick. Slight malfunction here, but we are back, and we still have the other half of our trade growing. Hopefully, we are looking for that trade to take out the highs here, right? We have a bullish trend, and we bought in this bullish trend, so we would expect this to hopefully make a new high as we go higher high, higher low, and then, you know, higher high. That would be our best case scenario here, but actually it's looking a little scary. One thing you may notice about this trade is the market is starting to go a little bit sideways. Let me remove some of these arrows here. Market has started to go sideways, which is a sign that this trend it's honestly fizzling out a bit. I wouldn't say it's reversed, but it has definitely weakened. So we want to keep that in mind as we make this trade. You know, maybe we shouldn't be going for these heavy profits. Coming back into the middle here is probably our best bet. And if you also notice, there is this somewhat of a topping pattern here. You have all of these three wicks here, making this horizontal resistance, which did allow this flush down, which is the next topic we should actually talk about next. This is a big part of why I like this trade. It's not only the EMA, but if you notice, we have this. Okay, and hold on. We actually exited out of the rest of our trade here. Let's move this over a little bit, show what is going on and kind of why I want to get out of this trade. Well, first of all, yeah, so there is this topping pattern here. It's a little scary. The market is going sideways. So topping pattern, market going sideways. These are all things to be somewhat afraid of as we trade this. And then if you notice too, there's kind of this trend line coming down here where you'll see that prices are rejecting every time they test it once, test it twice, and then the third time again, they are rejecting off of it. And this time with a pretty big red bar. So definitely a sign for us to exit. So I'm happy being out of this trade. That we caught it at the lows and we got a nice pullback. So in my mind, that is a win. But let's talk about this red candlestick here. This is a very important signal for us. So notice we have the topping pattern. So this is where sellers want to come in, right? They see, well, first of all, they see this big green candlestick and they notice, okay, tons of buyers FOMO'd into this trade and made this massive green candlestick. It was then followed by this small red bar, which is, you know, a little disappointing for these buyers. And then it started to top out once, twice, And on this second attempt to break out, a lot of traders are going to get scared as it goes lower. And so sellers will come in. They will most likely sell somewhere around this area, right? They're going to come in and sell. And then they notice it immediately flushes down. This is a great signal for any trader up here to take profits. Now, there is a second scenario. They could think about, okay, well, this is a topping pattern, right? Like, why shouldn't it just flush all the way down? Well, no, the chances of that happening, because this is such a strong uptrend, is almost zero. Like, okay, not zero. Anything can happen in the market, right? But with a bull trend like that, there's going to be a lot of buyers, especially if you notice there is some support zones down here and there is the EMA. So once we ram into the EMA, the same scenario happens with this green bar. Massive green bar followed by a small red bar. It's going to disappoint a lot of the buyers. Same thing here. Massive red bar slamming into support, followed by this kind of, not an appealing bar for sellers. Small green bar. That's what we bought on at the EMA. And then it eventually causes them some pain, but not enough pain. They were able to come back in on this trend line, and they were able to grab some strength. And if we look at the market here, it looks like it is slowly trying to come down. But yeah, this is the trade here. We trapped a lot of these guys. Everyone came in on this big red bar. They started to FOMO, sell, sell, sell. There was no follow through. Instead, we got this weak bullish bar. And that was enough for us to take out and relieve some of these traders of their pain if they decided to get out as it started to go against them. A lot has happened since our last trade. If you notice, it actually did fall apart. Yeah, the market kind of sold off here, which is not what I was expecting, but crazier things have happened in the market. So if you did end up selling up here, that was an awesome trade. All we did was take this trap down here at the EMA, looking to relieve some of these excited FOMO sellers, or at least, put them in a pain basket. But okay, here we go. We are in our second trade of the day. It is after this massive flush here. And notice we did try to at least pull back. The market tried to resume that old bull trend, but it just couldn't. Massive flush happened, and now we are in a new trade. So let's move over into our review mode and take a closer look at what's going on here. Okay, so we have moved into our review mode, and now what are we looking at here? Why do I like this trade? Well, let's take a look at what happened. Remember, there was this massive flush down. And so what's happening here as the flush is going? Well, there are buyers that are trying to come into this trade. Notice that there are these two bullish candlesticks here. This is showing either some profit taking or buyers trying to buy this big bounce here. But, well, I'd say that's probably not the best thing to do. If you notice, there are these wicks up here, and that is showing that every time buyers have been trying to come in and call this dip, they are just getting flushed out. They're getting told no, not where the dip is going to happen. And so, if anything, to me, these two bullish candlesticks are a sign of trapped traders. It is a sign of, maybe a naive trader who thinks, okay, I'm going to come in and buy this dip, and then I'm going to see the market just rocket up, and we are going to make a ton of money here. Well, I'm sorry to say that a little mini double top happened right here. If you notice, one test, two tests, and then we started selling down, and that is where I come in. That is where I like this trade, and we can help relieve these traders of their pain. Think about it, most of their stop losses are probably down here. So if we can take a trade up here at this little mini double top, I think that would allow us to make a decent profit as we hopefully come smashing down. And the market is starting to crumble here. If you notice, there is a little bit of pain, but we have gotten filled on our orders. We are taking profits near the lows here. There's no reason to try and go for more. Remember, the point of this trade was we are taking out all of these FOMO buyers who are trying to buy this dip, looking for massive trades. We see the little double top, and then we help them flush out as we turn against them. And then once we take out their stop losses, that is where we should take our profits, because I mean, we could go further, but I think the higher probability trade is to just take out their stop losses and then move on and look for the next opportunity. Okay, here we are with our third trade of the day. If you notice, not a lot has happened. Our last trade was this double top up here. And if you recall, I didn't want to get too greedy. I just wanted to take out their stop losses. And so that is sort of what we got here. And then the market started to go sideways. You notice, again, going sideways like that last trade. And in this case, we have this little mini red bar here that we sold under. And we are looking, hopefully, for the market to return back into this trading range. You'll notice that there is some highs here, and then there are some lows here, support. So this is looking like a trading range to me. And what's happening with this trading range? Well, I noticed that there is this bull breakout. And what's typically going to happen is it will turn into a failed breakout. So when I see this little mini red candlestick here, that's telling me that, okay, well, maybe the buyers don't have a lot of strength in this breakout. And so maybe, just maybe, this can pull back into the middle of the range here. Let me move this bar a little bit. Let's see, how many bars have we out so far? Looks something like that. So again, we are selling here. You notice big rejection, right? They tried to break out on this green candlestick. A red candlestick immediately followed that is just as big. So all of that buying got rejected, and then it started to shrivel up as, it seems like not a lot of people are too excited about this trade. And then the middle of the range, kind of around here. So that would be the best place for us to take profits. But it's not looking too great. If we look at the chart right now, we notice that the flush, I really wanted this to just immediately flush, but that is not happening. And it looks like there is some buying coming in. Hopefully we can hold on against this, but there are some strong green candlesticks that are fighting against us right here. This is not the best thing for us. We really want this candlestick to hopefully close down lower, but it looks like no matter how hard it's trying, it's just continuing to going up. There may be some kind of trend line going up like this that I should be aware of. Yeah, this trade is not looking like it is panning out. Okay, yep. So it is blasting off here. You'll notice big green candlestick that is basically telling us, okay, well, this trade did not work out the way that we wanted it to. Remember, saw the trading range and we expected this to flush down on the weakness, but obviously there was no weakness here. It looks like there may have been this trend line in play that I think I definitely missed this, and then it bounced off of it, uses as support, and the breakout continued. So, I think that happens. I think in hindsight, this is I don't think it's a terrible trade. I think the logic is still there, but nothing's 100%. Nothing always works as it should. And so we take a loss there. So the market gave us a slap on the wrist in that last trade where we lost the failed breakout here. But that doesn't mean we stop trading. And so now we are in a bullish trade. We're looking to buy now. And well, okay, this candlestick did look better when I entered it, but it's now come back into a slightly weaker bar. But I think that's not a big issue. It's still at the EMA, which is a nice buy zone for me. And so to understand a little bit more about this trade, we need to rewind and remember back at this old trade, this double top we took. So what were we trying to do here? Well, we were trying to trap the people who were trying to catch the bottom here. And these people, if they were to buy the bottom, they would look hopefully for a big move up. And now this big move up isn't actually that logical. If you think about it, where would be the biggest pain point for traders? Well, if you sold, it's probably going to be the top up here. This is where your largest stop loss would be. If you were swing trading, if you were on a bigger time frame, this is where you would try and defend yourself. And so if the market did start to chug along here and there was some strength with this bottom, well, it might try to seek out this pain point, right? The market loves to take out stop losses. And so if we think about that, well, this is an example right here of the market starting to show strength. So what I'm going to do is, as we see it start to pull back, hopefully we can get in at a nice buy here and push up into this stop loss. So this is what we're doing. Looks like we've already taken half of our profits off here. If you notice, we have some nice big bars here. And some of the easiest profits are always at these new highs. And so that's why we're going to take some off here. And if you do notice this, it is somewhat similar to the first trade we took this morning. And that's where the market is starting to go sideways, which is somewhat of a scary thought. So as we come up here, I'm actually going to take off the rest of my trades. I think this could. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I don't think it could easily get up here, but I think it would be good for us to try and target these highs up here. But at the same time, it's starting to develop into a trading range here. You'll notice there are these tops, 1, 2, 3, and then there are the bottoms, 1, 2, 3. So again, we could see something like a failed breakout. I mean, last time the failed breakout did slam into our face, but yes, you could see a failed breakout here. If you notice, we are already kind of getting that as these red bars come in and the breakout is a little weak. So I don't mind taking the profits up here. I think there's also an argument to hold and continue on, but for the sake of not letting this market go against us and taking our quick profits, I think it's in our best interest to close out the trade here and move on with our day. Okay, that's going to do it for this trading video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Happy trading.